YouTube, capital G here. Got an excellent Hakai duel for you guys to check out. I want to give a big shout out to my moderator on my live stream, Big Pimpin', for sending me this duel. You guys have probably seen the multiple versions of Hakai. I don't think there's really going to be any pure versions because Hakai only have 3 main deck monsters, but there's like the Orcus version, which I wouldn't put too much stock in. By the time we get Hakai, I feel like Mermaid's going to be banned, so why even bother? Also, there's the True Draco version where you run Diagram, you run some of the True Draco spells and traps. We know that all the Hakai cards float upon being destroyed, so it is some natural synergy, but this is the build that I actually like the most. It is the Layer of Darkness variant. Now, the reason that Layer of Darkness works with Hakai really well is the fact that Lilith is just such a ridiculously strong card. You guys know that Hakai have 2 traps in its archetype, and both of them are actually normal traps, so Lilith can pull either one of the trap cards straight from your deck. Lilith gives you the disruption to tribute your opponent's monsters during their turn. Also, when you like tribute one of your opponent's monsters and then you link away another one of your opponent's monsters, it's just nuts. And then lastly, this card right here, Zero Day Blaster. This was the card from the structure deck Revolver that I was pretty sure Konami had made for like rockets, but this card is actually just ridiculous in Hakai as well, because you can get the Link 4 or the Link 3. You can target that many cards on your opponent's side of the field, just torch those cards after tributing the monster. Hakai can get their boss monsters back from the graveyard so easily using cards like this, their Call of the Haunted. So there's a lot of synergy with Layer of Darkness, and I feel like it has probably like the best disruption. So you can see right here, he's going to summon the water one, he's going to set his trap, he's going to blow it up, he summons the big doggo from the deck, and boom, he instantly is going to go for the Link 2. Now you just set a couple of cards, get Layer of Darkness, and wait for your opponent to commit something on the field that has been special summoned. This deck is so good if you're playing against a combo deck, because a lot of times combo decks have like 1 Link monster or 1 extra deck monster they always want to go to. Sunlight Wolf, Mirage Stallion, you can see right here, Crusadia Spatha. All you got to do is wait for them to go for that monster and then just link away with that monster, and you basically just like you disrupt their entire turn. I probably would have used my Ragius effect before the Spatha, like before he link summoned to, or before he summoned a monster to the Spatha's link point. Honestly, it's not going to really matter that much, but the fact that it's a Link 2 means he can just straight up bypass going into the Link 3. We know that the Link 3 is not really all that good. The Link 2 is better in my opinion, and boom, you can go straight for the Link Link 4, and you can start just like using effects and start nuking your opponent's board. Another cool thing is, right, one thing about Layer of Darkness, and one kind of thing that it kind of suffers, is the fact that when you tribute your opponent's monsters during their turn with like Lilith, your opponent still gets those tokens. But the great thing with this deck is you actually get to nuke the tokens with the Link 4s with its effect during the end phase that activates. You get to blow up one of those tokens as well, because you know during the end phase he just like pops cards. So you can see right here, I believe he's going to try to pop the Link 4, which it's fine. We all said that, you know, it doesn't have any destruction, but doesn't have any protection, but doesn't matter. The archetype has a Call of the Haunted. You just bring it right back anyways, and again he gets the token, but that token ain't gonna protect you, bro. The Link 4 destroys a card on the field during the end phase, so you can just pop the token that you gave to your opponent with Layer of Darkness. Now their field's open, and it's looking like this could be a GG no re. Might just actually end up closing him out. Not quite enough damage. Oh yeah, look like okay, maybe enough damage. He activates the second Call of the Haunted. He's gonna tribute a token to get the Icarus attack essentially for the Hakai archetype. Looks like he's not even using it. He's just going to pop it to summon a monster. Fair enough. I don't really think his opponent's going to be able to do that much. Keep in mind, not only does he have a Lilith where he can tribute one of his opponent's monsters, but like I said earlier, in turns where you have Lilith out and you have the Link 2, you just have 2 insanely good disruptions. You can tribute your opponent's monsters and you can link away with your opponent's monsters as well. This is why this to me is the best build. So go ahead and tribute the Black Dragon. Looks like he's going to pop another monster, and his opponent realizes like I can't really do anything through this. You can see that he also like he had so much disruption anyways. Like even if he somehow was able to, you know, go for extra deck plays, like he was just going to go for random Link monsters, look at the removal that he had. He had the Zero Day Blaster. He could have easily just tributed this and torched 4 cards. Like he could have nuked his opponent's entire board. He still had the Icarus attack like card where he could have, you know, destroyed one of his Hakai cards and then popped another card on his opponent's side of the field as well in these Hakai monsters, and really the cards in the archetype float as well. So yeah, it's just a really like it's a really good version of Hakai, because it can be be very defensive, but it also has like so many disruptions. But let's pause for one quick second and check out the deck. Actually, we don't need to pause. I have the deck already loaded up. I don't usually have this, but in this instance, I already have everything loaded up here. So you guys can see the layer package when it comes to monsters is very minimal. You're running Darkest Diablos, you know, the chance that you happen to tribute any of your dark monsters if you activate like a Remo on field. It never really hurts to have Darkest Diablos, a card that's incredibly difficult for decks like Altergeist and Sky Strikers to deal with. Lilith is clearly like the most important of the layer cards because it gives you that disruption during your opponent's turn. You're going to max out on all the Hakai monsters. Because there is only 3 of them, essentially you're maxing out on like all the Hakai cards because there really aren't that many of them. The only one is this one right here, Whale of Hakenshin. I would not max out on this card because it only activates when you link summon. And if you link summon during your opponent's turn, obviously that's really cool. Get the Papa card, it becomes another disruptive card against your opponent. However, outside of that, you just kind of want to pop this card to like summon a monster. That's the reason why it's going to be almost impossible for Konami to make a bad Hakai like spell or trap because all of them float into monsters. The only thing that I see in this build that I personally would not run is I don't think that you need Trap Trick in this build. I get it that it tutors for all of these trap cards, but I just kind of feel like if you already have Lilith and the deck already has a Rhoda that can search for any of the trap cards, I just feel like it's kind of unnecessary. Like I would probably take out the Trap Tricks personally and I would throw in like a Solemn Brigade, maybe 3 copies of Solemn Strike in case you happen to deal with maybe like a pendulum deck, a deck that wants to just massively special summon where, you know, simple 1-for-1 removals just aren't going to cut it like against a pendulum summon. These cards can all be good, but you know, something like a Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment, I would just consider running Solemns, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the duel. If you did, give a video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.